In order to stand out, to be memorable when you speak, to leave that lasting impression and impact in someone's life, then you have to be able to make them feel something. And when people feel something, they move, they take action, they buy. Do you dream of sharing your message on stages, but are still terrified you'll mess it up? Want to crush your online videos so that you can grow your business, but you feel super awkward and hate the sound of your voice? Or maybe you simply want to feel more confident in the boardroom without reading your notes and fumbling over your words? Hello, new friend, and welcome to the Speaking and Storytelling Podcast, a show for Christ-led entrepreneurs and leaders who want to make a humongous impact in the world. I'm so glad you're here. I'm your host, Emanuela, a stage actress and playwright turned speaking coach and story consultant. Whether you want to master speaking on stages, online, in the boardroom, or the classroom, if you believe you're meant to make an impact in the world and you know your voice and story is the ticket to get you there, then this podcast is for you, my friend. Over the past 4 years, I've helped dozens of entrepreneurs find and tell their stories, speak with authority, and captivate their audience so that they can grow their visibility, further their God-given mission, and change the world. If you're ready to do that too, then sit back, grab a pen and paper, and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back. I'm your host, Emanuela Hall, and this is episode 2, Why Speaking is Important for Leaders and Entrepreneurs. So I'm going to say this a lot in this podcast, and you better get used to it, but how you speak matters. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine a speaker that you love. Someone who has inspired you, taught you something, made you think in a new way. Maybe they even changed your life. I just want you to picture this speaker in your mind. Maybe they were someone you saw at a live event, on a YouTube video, a TED Talk, maybe even like a leader in your organization. Imagine yourself sitting there, listening to them, and try and recall what it was that they said. Like, really try to think about the exact words they used, what they said in that talk. If you're having trouble, now I want you to try and think of how they made you feel. Were you energized? Were you laughing because they said something that you do all the time? Or were you crying because you felt like somebody really knew your heart? Now, I would bet that most likely you can't remember exactly what the speaker said. I mean, you might remember like a line or a phrase, but more so you remember how you felt. You remember what you did because of that talk, who you went and told, and what changed in your life because of it. So my point here is that in order to stand out, to be memorable when you speak, to leave that lasting impression and impact in someone's life, then you have to be able to make them feel something. And when people feel something, they move, they take action, they buy. Now, can words themselves make someone feel something? Well, of course. Otherwise, no one would ever read a book. So I'm not saying that the words don't matter, but if speaking is something you know you need to improve on, then I want you to remember that how you speak is arguably way more important than what you say. So what do I mean by how? This is what we're going to talk about today. I mean that when you are in front of an audience, whether it's an audience of 1,000 people on stage, 100 people in a meeting, or just one beautiful person, they will make assumptions about you based on a few things. And many of those things are totally subconscious. So the first thing is what you look like. Now, I know we don't like this, right? But we are visual beings. We have eyes, and sometimes we like certain things more than others. I might like pink, and you might like blue. But my point here is that you're not for everyone, and that's okay. You can't change that. You can't change the way someone's going to feel based on the feeling they get when they see you. You can't change that. And that's okay. You might just not be for them. It's totally fine. But what I will say is that if we are visual and we are trying to make impact and connect with people, you do want to think about how you're presenting. How are you dressed? Right? Do you want to be taken seriously? We want to dress like it. If you want to be seen as a buddy to somebody, you're going to dress like that. Your appearance, the way you present, is kind of your costume, like it or not, right? How we feel about that word, but it can help others to get that sense of who you are before you even open your mouth. So, number two, we move into more of your presence. And this is regardless of how you look or what you're wearing. This is deeper than that. This is your charisma. This is how you walk into a room, how you stand, how you sit, how you move, how you drink water. It's your body language, your gestures, because you are a whole package, right? You aren't just a brain spewing out words. So, again, how we feel about this, like it or not, people pay attention to you, your whole being, how you look, your energy, your charisma. Now, the third thing I want you to think about is how your voice sounds. This absolutely matters. Are you nasally? Is your voice raspy? Is it harsh? Is it high pitched? Etc., etc., etc. Ideally, we want to find our most resonant voice, aka our natural God given voice, the voice we were born with, the voice we took our first prize with. I'll be making lots of episodes about this, so don't you worry. We're going to dig into that a little further. But for today, I just want you to know that how your voice sounds, just like notes on a piano, can make people feel a certain way. And then the other piece, number four, is your connection. And we can connect based on how we deliver a talk. So even if you're wearing the right thing, your presence is great, you have an outstanding voice, but if your delivery is disconnected, if you're pushing or you're coming across as inauthentic, then you're gonna lose people. So again, I'll be going deeper into each of these things throughout this podcast and episodes to come. But for now, I just want you to know that delivery is an important piece to master as a person who wants to impact and influence people. Okay, so let's review. We have what you look like, your presence, your voice, and your delivery or your connection, however you want to call that, potato, potato. So let's get back to why now. Why is speaking important as leaders and entrepreneurs? Well, quite simply because speaking is how we communicate most authentically as human beings, right? Most people in the world speak. Sadly, not everybody reads or writes. We're not all artistically inclined, but most human beings do use a voice and words. We're designed to do it. God gave us a voice for a reason. So if you are an entrepreneur or a leader, then you need to be able to connect with people in order to actually grow your following, your mission, your business, your impact. You are the thing that's going to differentiate you from other people in your industry, and your voice is a piece of you. Your speaking presence is you. You are your brand, your business, your mission. So it matters. It matters how you sound. It matters how you connect with people through your delivery. And you might be sitting there thinking, oh, Manuela, well, I'm not a speaker. I'm introverted. I'm shy. I'm just not a great verbal communicator. But I want you to think for a second, my dear Christ led friend, that Moses also didn't think he was a leader or a speaker, but Moses was called to lead, right? He was called to lead his people out of slavery. I mean, I know you have a big mission, but it might not be as big as his. And he didn't want to do it because he stuttered, supposedly. So what did God do? He gave him Aaron. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to send you an Aaron or another person to do your speaking. Wouldn't that be nice, right? But he will give you the help. He'll give you the words. He'll give you the Holy Spirit and people who can help you, like me and this show, so you can go forth and do your mission. So let's try to stop putting those labels on ourselves like, I'm not a speaker. I'm not an extrovert. I'm not outgoing. I want to just, make my little products or sell this coaching package, but I don't really want to be on social media, or I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be on stage. I don't like having the attention. Great. But let's start with your voice, even in a small way, even in a one-on-one conversation, can attract or deflect somebody. And we are looking to attract simply because we are looking to change the world. We're not going to change the world if we can't connect with one person, if we can't connect with a few people and use our voices to further that mission. All right. So your homework today from today's episode, my friend, yes, I will be giving out homework every now and then because knowledge without action is useless, in my opinion. I mean, how many times do we sit here and we listen to a podcast? And a lot of times I know you might be driving. I listen to my podcasts when I'm driving, and it's really great stuff that you're hearing. But if you're not actually implementing the work, then you just go back to doing things how you did them before. So your homework today is I want you to sit down and journal about what would you do with your voice if you had no fears, no insecurities about speaking whatsoever, and you really honed your voice, you honed your presence. If we removed all those fears, all those doubts, all those insecurities, all those past messages, and yes, we will get into these things as well in these episodes. But for now, just think about the impact you would have. Be specific. What would you do? Who would you talk to? And what would that do for your mission? What would that do for your business or for your authority as a leader and the impact? So go ahead and journal about that. You can let me know by leaving a review or sending me a DM over on Instagram. But that is all for today, my friend. Now remember, go out there and share your voice, because it just might be the thing that changes the world. God bless.